You're listening to another Geek Pride podcast.
So, 3, 2, 1, beep.
Is R2-D2 just moved in?
I thought you just had a beep. You actually just made a beep.
I did. Okay, so welcome everyone to the Geek Pride podcast. I'm going to keep that beep in because that's fantastic. The beat you've just missed was I did say I'm going to make a beep noise. I didn't say I was going to play a beep noise.
Maybe you should. I think you should get a beep noise for next time.
Maybe for next time, but for this...
No. I think you should keep it as your own.
Oh.
You know, make it different each time. I want a different sound each time.
Different sound is...
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Excellent. So next time we'll be like...
Hey, you just ruined the surprise now. I know what's going on. You're going to have to use that another time.
I will. I'll save that for a special occasion. So, well, obviously we're starting up.
John.
Yes.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back,
Back
baby.
in the room, baby.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
It has. I was actually listening to some of the old ones to kind of get back into the mood of things and so on, and it was great. I'm looking forward to doing all of this again. I really am. And we're going to keep this a little bit tighter, hopefully, and a little bit shorter so that I'm more sane after editing it. That's going to be the aim. But before we get into any of it, so we have got a structure we're going to follow. I was going to talk about the picture Matt has on Skype.
Is this just audio recorded, or are you recording video as well?
Just audio recorded.
That's okay. So if it's a stupid picture, then the listeners won't be able to see the stupid picture. Not that there's many stupid pictures of Matt around, because they're all pretty awesome. I'm kind of gutted that there's no video, because I'm smoking back. What the hell's going on?
Whoa.
What happened there?
Right, so that was me. There's like 2 or 3 guys in my area. I live in an area of Leeds called Beeston. It's an interesting area. It's a little bit poorer than other areas.
Beeston.
Welcome to Beeston.
Yes, exactly. And the problem is that a couple of people on my street have essentially put a hairdryer onto wheels, and they drive it up and down Beeston Road. It's like this little motorbike that just goes... like, it's mostly there to convert petrol into noise pollution.
Right, okay.
And so that's what you just heard. I should probably go close my window because the fucker's going to do that again. So I am going to be back in a second. Bevan, you start by describing what the picture of Matt looks like as far as you're concerned.
It kind of looks a little bit like you're just about to lean into someone, you know, eyes locked, and go, "Hey, baby."
That sounds about right. Is this shorter haired Matt or longer haired Matt?
This is short hair Matt, this is.
Right, okay.
I'll tell you what I think it looks like. I think that you were in like a boy band in the 80s and that you decided to branch out on your own, and the picture you're currently showing is your debut solo album cover.
Oh, brilliant.
What would my solo album be called?
Return of the Geek.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
Oh.
That's satisfaction for you, baby.
First single, there it is.
Satisfied you all day. All night. There you go.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Well,
Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, welcome back. I was going to say going through the Gearys, but there you are.
Nice.
Then again,
what is that you're holding on your picture, Bev? You've got like a glass with a cat on it.
Yeah, I found these really cool glasses. I was at like a weird medieval fair thing, and randomly this lady was just doing like glass etchings, and it's got this picture of a cat that's just got this little top hat on and a little curly moustache going, "You, sir, are the cat's pajamas." And I just thought, yes, I'm having that.
Brill.
you do look very pleased.
I'm so happy. Yeah, I even got my little hat on as well, I think.
You do, yes.
Good times.
Excellent stuff. See, my picture is it's the only picture that's been taken of me in the last 4 or 5 years that I like, and so I just use it over and over and over.
Are you on some sort of boating trip in that one? Are you out on the lake or on a river?
No, I'm actually in Norfolk. There's exactly one theme park.
Right.
And there was like an elevated monorail that you just go around the entire park on. It's like a real gentle sort of stroll around the theme park, but you're 20 feet in the air. And I'm on that.
Okay.
That's where I am in that. So that's a really dull story. Thanks for that.
In the back of my mind, I just had monorail.
North Haverbrook. Ogdenville. North Haverbrook.
Is it Batman? No, it's not Batman. It's a scientist. Batman was a scientist. Right, so we've talked about Batman, so we're officially able to start going into some of the meat of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about news now. So we'll talk about some items of news. I don't want to take anybody's specific item of news, so I'm going to go last. Bevan, we'll go with you. What news item from the last year and a half did you want to talk about?
Well, I think it's one that's very recent for me, and it was literally last night, I think I actually downloaded this particular thing. But there's a cracking game that I've been trying to get hold of for the iPad called Patchwork. And this is a sort of an Apple implementation of an Uwe Rosenberg game that I've been told is a real cracker, and I went and had a little look. And unfortunately, I've played maybe... Oh, hello, sorry. I've just switched it on.
Oh,
just tinkling
come
away.
on.
I've played about 10 games in the last 24 hours. It's just so much fun. It's only a 2-player game, so essentially you and your mate can play, but it has got the pass and play feature, and the physical cardboard version is beautiful. So what you're trying to do in this game is you score buttons, and these buttons are your victory points, and you score those by taking these sort of tetra-shaped tiles to add to a board, and the board itself is a blanket. So what you're doing is stitching up this sort of blanket thing, and it sounds really twee, but it's so much fun. It's really, really simple. And as you add buttons to your blanket, you earn more buttons, which you can then spend the buttons to buy more patches. So then you put this new big patch on your thing, and you've got sort of this timer mechanism as well. So if you buy a really big patch with lots of buttons, it sort of moves you around the board really fast, which means your opponent then can have several smaller goes with smaller patches.
So you can't get melt-a-guns or bolt.
Unfortunately not. No, all you get is a nice, warm, cozy blanket at the end covered in buttons.
I don't know. Do you know what it is? I don't know what it is. I've obviously got like an issue with games that don't relate to sort of kind of war in some way, shape, or form. I literally have this. This huge aversion. Can I have big genetically modified super soldiers who kill each other, and or robots, and or is it a historical war game or not? If it's no to any of these, then I'm not interested, and I tend to stay away from it. Though, begrudgingly, because I know Ben Fee and Becca and stuff are more into their sort of kind of random sort of card games and things like that. We were playing one at their house, and it's like you tell stories with these cards, and I'm not sure what it's called, but you get a bunch of cards, and you start off, and you've got to tell a story, and other people can interrupt your story with other cards. So you basically have a theme in your card, but if it overlaps somebody else's, they can throw in themselves.
Is that Braggart?
I could be. I'm not 100% sure. But I actually quite enjoyed that. And I was like, I shouldn't enjoy this game. There's no guns in this game. I can't spend 14 hours thinking about what I'm going to do. And, yeah. So, yeah.
Nice. Start going pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
I
feel really bad because it's like I really want to enjoy sort of shorter games, but if it's not like 24 hours long where I have to spend like a day and a half with my brother, sort of like looking over maps and things, I'm one of those guys. The more complex, bigger, better that is, then that's what I'm into basically.
Okie dokie. So a little cuddly blanket. Doesn't do it for you.
Well, no, to be honest, I like sort of kind of when it comes to sort of iPad things, when you're on sort of the bus or on the train or something, like stupid games like that do sort of kind of get you going. But yeah, it tends to be the sort of kind of fighty ones that are my thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if it was like patches of human skin that were being like flashed together, then Matt might be interested.
You create the best war machine with the war buttons, and you stitch them together.
Oh man! So if it was landmines instead of buttons, maybe that would be better.
Landmines, and if you rolled a 1, it blew up in your face.
Do it.
Just like real life. All right, Reverend, thank you for that. So Matt, any item of news that's caught your interest over the last year and a half?
One thing, there's rumours of them of Peter Jackson doing the Silmarillion as well, I guess a trilogy, because there's a lot more to it than there was The Hobbit. And if you make 3 films out of The Hobbit, you can make a fair few out of the Silmarillion. But yeah, that would be freaking awesome. I'm not sure how the hell they would do it, but yeah, that would be really good. Unless they focused on some of the stories, like Hurin, the children of Hurin, or something along those lines. Maybe some of the wars with Melkor and stuff like that. But yeah, that would be pretty awesome. Even if they did it so it was towards the end, where like Melkor's sort of being banished, and obviously Sauron comes to be because he was one of his lieutenants. Then yeah, that'd be good. Sort of move into the whole sort of Lord of the Rings thing. But yeah, I quite like that idea. If it's true, fingers crossed. Yeah.
If it's true, I don't know. I like, he did such a good job with the original trilogy, but The Hobbit was basically just getting blood from a stone. They turned one book into 3 films, and it was... That third film was... I don't know if Peter Jackson was taking the piss with that third film.
The thing about the Hobbit trilogy is some of the padding I didn't mind, but they could have done it all in one film. They could have done it in maybe 2 films max. And I just don't think they needed some of it. You know, in Lord of the Rings, I quite liked some of the additions and stuff like that. But The Hobbit, it just seemed it didn't work. And I'm not sure if that's because Lord of the Rings set such a high bar when it came to sort of a film like that, and we were expecting something along those lines. I also think I think the fact that they used a lot more CGI sort of took away from it slightly.
Yes, it really did. The dwarf that Billy Connolly plays just looked so ridiculous.
Yeah. It was just really odd. It was just like, that's Billy Connolly's voice, but it looks nothing like it.
Yeah. It's just like, I can understand the need, because they needed some CGI for it, but they had lots of extras, and then they sort of duplicated it on green screen, whereas it just seems like a lot of it was just CGI, and that took away from it slightly. Plus, I didn't like the it's been a while since I've read The Hobbit, but the oh god, this is embarrassing. Can't even remember the name of them.
The 3 trolls, is that?
No, not the 3 trolls. I think they did that well enough. It was the sort of fishing village. Where is it?
Oh,
Riverton,
I think.
Yeah. This is really bad. I can't remember the name of it. But those as sort of combatants in the film were. It was the dwarfs fighting, but in the film it's the battle of 5 armies, you know? So you've got the humans, you've got the dwarfs, you've got the elves, and you've got obviously the wargs, and you've got the goblins. They didn't really have any warg. You didn't really have a warg army.
No.
Which I suppose you can't really do it, but the whole, you know, I just thought as the humans, the sort of, you know, they didn't really have much other than sort of kind of defending a bit of the town, and they didn't really fight in the battle really that much, and that sort of annoyed me slightly, because they don't have a huge role to play in the book from what I remember, but it's bigger than it was given to them and stuff. So yeah.
So who killed Smaug in the end, or Smaug?
Oh yeah, that was begins with a B. God, I forgot his name.
So it wasn't the dwarves in the end then.
Bard.
You
mean it was
Bard?
Bard?
Yeah, Bard. Yeah, Bard kills him because he kills him with the black arrow.
Right, okay.
Yeah, he kills him with the black arrow. So that happens in the book. He kills him with the black arrow.
It was silly to stretch it out as much as they did. It really was. The second film, it was a little forgettable as much as anything else. I genuinely can't remember, apart from Gandalf facing off against the Necromancer, I genuinely can't remember much of what happened in the second film.
See, that bit I actually quite liked.
Yeah.
I liked the fact that they filled out, because in the book, Gandalf just disappears and goes off, and they talk about the Necromancer, who's effectively Sauron. And you don't really get very much after that. And I quite like the fact that they sort of they padded that out, so that I can kind of understand, because it isn't really explained in the book.
Enough.
But there's some of the other stuff.
Yeah. The whole thing, the way that they were showing that Thorin was like gold lusted, It was ridiculous. It looked like the way they were shooting him as he was like looking around, mad-eyed in Goldlust, was the same way that like Cheech and Chong were shot when they'd just taken a strong hit of some marijuana. It was such a weird choice, and so much of the fight scenes that Legolas, who obviously wasn't in the book, was involved in were just, it was like watching Legolas fan fiction at times.
Yeah.
The Legolas eye thing as well.
Yeah.
The whole, like, his eyes, he looked really, really strange. So, yeah, I had to go back and look, and I think in the Lord of the Rings films they had a problem where he kept forgetting to put the contact lenses in.
Really?
So yeah, so they're like, so when they did the Hobbit, he remembered to put them in all the time. So his eyes just stayed this really weird whitish paley blue kind of color, and then for the Lord of the Rings, he'll just flip between blue and brown and green and all sorts of stuff.
No way. I've never picked up on that. Wow. I'm going to have to go and watch them all again.
It's so spooky. So it kind of reminded me, I did a Halloween costume one year where I did like a zombie. So I wore the whiteout contact lenses, and the first thing I thought was, he's wearing whiteouts. He's, he'll glow UV in the lights or something. It was really odd. Yeah, it was spooky. Yeah, really spooky.
I thought Lee Pace was a really good shout though for those films to play the Elf King.
Yes,
he was an absolutely fantastic shout. He really was.
Yeah,
what was his name? Thranduil. Yeah, he was
a sort of creepy austerity kind of thing. It's like, yeah,
it's a really
very good.
Shout.
So the question I had for those though is Tom Bombadil. Was he in The Hobbit?
They had Bjorn, but they didn't do the. Did they do the bit where they all sort of went in one by one to his house?
Yes, they did do that.
Oh, yes. Kinda?
Kind of, yeah. They showed up
in
like 1s and 2s and things like that.
Yeah.
But it would be good if we do see the Silmarillion. I'm just nervous about Peter Jackson, whether he can do it again, whether he just rolled a natural 20 making the original trilogy, or he rolled a natural 1 making The Hobbit.
Yeah, critical fail. But yeah, I think. Yeah, hopefully he'll learn some lessons, because he's obviously there'll being reviews and things for the last one and stuff. So we'll see if it happens and stuff. On a completely random note, by the way, on the piece of news that I found today, that they're making another Transformers 5.
Yes.
And it's called like The Last Night, and it's going to be set in ye old sort of knightly times, medieval times. I'm not shitting you. I am not.
Really?
I am not shitting you. It was sort of. There's basically. I haven't even. You know what? I stopped watching them after the third one. I was like, okay, I've had enough now. It's gonna take any more. But yeah, I haven't seen the fourth. But apparently, he leaves for Cybertron at the end, and goes back to Cybertron. It's a big mess. And he basically has to go back to Earth to find some like powerful relic who Merlin has. Right. And so he goes back in time, and how that is going to work. The thing is though, right? Do you know what the weird thing about this is? It could technically be counted as sort of sticking to the sort of Transformers cartoons and stuff, because there is an episode of the Transformers cartoons where they go back in time, and Megatron and Starscream and stuff are fighting with some bad knights, and obviously the Autobots are fighting with some good knights. And they're using catapults and stuff like that instead of just shooting them with their lasers and things.
I was gonna say, what were they transformed into? Like horses and carts and stuff?
I don't know. But no, because it's like there's Starscream is as a jet. He's still a jet. And there's these guys with like spears and like catapults and things. So I guess the nerds can't rage about it being not canon or anything, because there's precedent for it, but it's just gonna be weird.
I did see that cartoon. Isn't that the one where Starscream just sort of turns up covered in bird shit because he's been said we've got to get sulfur, and he went, oh really? Does that mean I have to go? Yeah, okay. Just comes back absolutely covered and said, here's your sulfur, Megatron, you bitch. Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
So
that's going to be interesting. Part of me is sort of curious.
Exactly, I was about to say, in a way, that makes me really want to see the next Transformers film.
It's going to have Wahlberg in it, apparently. and the other two dudes who are in all of them and stuff. So
Is Wahlberg going to go back in time with them then?
I don't know if they're going to do a whole sort of, if he's going to have to put on a pseudo English accent, and it'll be like them back in the day, their ancestors or something like that. But I don't know. This is There's been the BBC have taken photographs of them out in Scotland, filming bits and pieces. So it's sort of on its way apparently. So
well, there you go.
Mad. Okay,
that is mad.
Yeah. I'm the same. I think I'd be curious to see how they managed to interweave Transformers, time travel, and Merlin. Yeah.
Well, at least we're not going to have lots of really built-up cityscapes getting blown up, Michael Bay style. So,
and transformations that you watch them and you go like, there's a lot of moving parts here. I'm missing a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of CGI is just wasted on me here. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
For all the effect it's had on you, it might as well just have, come up with text of Starscream turns into a jet, and then next thing you just see the jet, and you've got just as much out of that transition.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. So then my bit of news is about how awful Konami are. Have you seen the trailer for the new Metal Gear Solid game?
No, mate.
No.
So Metal Gear Solid, very much normally known for being like a spy action game, really. A little bit of difference in the last one, Metal Gear Solid 5, where it was a combination between like spy action and open world action game. But generally in keeping, that's supposed to be, spies doing spy shit. The next Metal Gear Solid game is a cooperative shooter with zombies.
What? So this kind of got... They're a bit late for the whole zombie thing, aren't they? That was sort of that was at least 10 years ago.
Yes.
Let's stick zombies in everything. And they've kind of gone, you know what would be really awesome, guys? At the Konami sort of meeting, zombies.
Yeah.
Never been done before. Guys, I've got a really good idea. What? Zombies. Whoa, man, you just blew my freaking mind. Or one of them just thought, we'll bring zombies back, because, it's been a year. So...
Well, it's like, in a weird way, a co-op shooter is like the default setting for video games for this generation. Like, a co-op shooter is what most video games been, it's like the most common one, and just putting zombies on top of it. It's like they just picked up a base template for a game and said, you know what, slap Metal Gear Solid on that and we'll sell it.
Yeah, sounds absolutely right. I mean, was it Call of Duty? They moved into the modern warfare and then moved into zombies, and that was their big thing. Yeah, I don't know, cash cow.
That's what they've been doing that with Mario forever, haven't they? Really?
What, zombies?
They just stick. Well, I'm not sure.
That would be amazing.
That's one thing they haven't done. Like, Mario has done everything. Just to stick Mario in something, whatever and stuff. But
Mario Bukkake Racing was just terrible.
Did you say Mario Bukkake Racing?
Yes. It was an awful game.
Oh, dude.
That's a thing?
No, it isn't.
Tell me that's not a thing. I'll destroy every I'm a Mario.
I'm a Mario.
I have the worst images in my head right now.
Just like a mustache caked.
Dude, please stop. I beg you to stop this conversation right now.
The funniest thing about the whole Konami thing is that this is the first time that they are making a Metal Gear Solid game without Hideo Kojima. So they got rid of Hideo Kojima, and he's gone off to make really weird games with Norman Reedus now. But
what?
Yeah, the next Hideo Kojima game is
guy from Walking Dead.
Yeah, he was going to be in Silent Hills. So if you remember PT, he would be in Silent Hills. As the actor, I guess, that they then model the main character off. And so when Hideo Kojima left Konami to create his own studio, the name of which does escape me at the moment, but when he left, it's you know what, I'm going to make a game and I'm going to use Norman Reedus again. So there was a trailer that came out at E3 for his latest game. I'm going to have to Google this because it feels stupid for not knowing it off the top of my head. But yeah, in the trailer, which is a weird trailer where Norman Reedus is standing naked in a field, it's called Death Stranding. Death Stranding.
Ooh, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, exactly. It follows the key thing that sometimes they go for with, well, particularly Hideo Kojima, just putting words together. Just two random English words. There you are. That's a game. It's up to hell.
That's like that episode of is it South Park where they're trying to figure out how Family Guy is made, and it's a bunch of manatees just sort of getting balls and putting them together to find the jokes.
That's basically how it's going. But yeah, I'd recommend Googling at some point the Death Stranding trailer, because it's very weird. It's just Norman Reedus on like a black island in a grey ocean. He finds like a baby and starts crying when it dies, then the baby disappears, and it's a really weird trailer. But the point is that Hideo Kojima is obviously this big name in gaming, one of the most well-known directors, and so getting rid of him, they had to make a big splash. They had to make a big
statement.
Yeah, a big statement that they can go ahead and really flourish without Hideo Kojima at the helm. And they went for a zombie co-op shooter.
You know what? For a guy who likes shooty things, I'm getting really bored of shooty games. I just, I'm kind of quietly confident about Battlefield 1. Because I've been a big fan of Battlefield games, and I like sort of team-based stuff. But even that, it's just like, I was watching some trailers, and it just doesn't look like it's sort of going forward any further and stuff. And it just seems quite, they need to find something else. They need to find a new direction. I don't know what other directions you can go with shooting games and stuff like that, but it's just...
Titanfall's trying to do something a bit different, haven't they? Like the newest one, apparently the mechs have got
personalities.
like attitudes as well, yeah. So I just remember this little cartoon, and basically, this one dude just fist bumps his machine, and the other machine, and the pilot just says, well, my machine, and he leaves out, what were you going to say? He says, nothing.
Well, you know what they're doing for Titanfall 3 is they're going back to medieval times.
Yeah.
They'll be fucking wizards.
You know what, man? The thing is, though, if you think about it as a marketing ploy, so I don't think Michael Bay gives a flying F about sort of what sort of reviews he gets. If he makes $1 billion, that's all he cares about, really. And I think he's just sitting there, what's going to make me a fuck ton of money? I just realised I said F to sort of stop the swearing, and then said fuck there. So I'm just kind of I'm going to carry on with the fucks. And
I was going to say, what is the consensus on cuss words?
Fucking go for it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Salty language it is.
But yeah, so he's just sat there and gone, what can we make a lot of money from? So we've got Robot, and he has a sword. Let's fire him into medieval times.
I think what probably happened was he was there watching an episode of Game of Thrones. Then he saw how many people are watching it. And it's like, shit, people love this, like, dragon sword stuff. I need to make the next Transformers film have dragon swords or something.
And incest. So Optimus Prime sort of gets it on with, a toaster that turns out to be his sister.
I thought you were going to say Megatron then.
Yeah, Megatron. They're all like, all of this anger over these 5 films, it's really because I just want to fuck.
And at the end, there's just toast just pops out. Bing!
Oh, yeah.
That was hot.
I'm done.
That was my bit of news, is just how stupid Konami are, which shouldn't really be news, but they just like to prove it over and over. Bless them. Right, okay, and now we're going to go on just very briefly, going to do some recommendations about things that we love. So I'm going to start with this one, just so I can get it out of the way. I've been playing a game called Fury, which is a little indie game. It was free for PSN this month, but I'd heard some good things about it anyway, so I was glad it came up for free. It's a combination between like an action game where you kind of fight and shoot, and bullet hell puzzle platforming. It's a really interesting combination.
What the hell is bullet hell platforming? What the hell is that?
Bullet hell is where you are playing in an environment or a game where you're just being bombarded by bullets. There are so many bullets that you've got to spend your time dodging them all. So a bit like the old F-Zero games, things like that. They're sort of known as bullet hells.
Right.
Like stages and bosses of bullet hells. Yeah, and it's a really nice combination, really slick. It is ridiculously hard, just really, really tough. Like, throw your controller out the window tough. And you know I like that kind of stuff. How much I love Dark Souls and Bloodborne and so on. So I really recommend it. It's a very, very good game, very unforgiving. But yeah, it's brilliant. It's really good.
I've seen that one on PSN. Yeah, it's got a really cool aesthetic as well, isn't it? Sort of glow-in-the-darky kind of neon edges to things. Yeah, it's very cool.
Very much. It's very, very interesting. And it's got a very nice like electronic soundtrack as well. It's like one DJ or composer who's done the entire soundtrack, and it works really well. It's really good. So I highly recommend it. If you have PS Plus and you haven't downloaded it, then you've definitely got to get it. It's really worth it. There you are, that's my little recommendation. Matt, what do you recommend?
Well, Bev, you can go for yours next, and I'll hit you with my awesome recommendation for the end.
Got it. Well, my recommendation is shock horror, not a board game.
Oh, wow.
So I've recently got myself in on the sort of next gen consoles. I saw an offer, I couldn't refuse it, I had to get it.
Which one?
It's like a PS4 bundle.
God damn it! No Xboxes.
Well, you made the right choice, Bevan. You made the right choice.
I feel I did. I used to be a PlayStation kid, and then I switched to Xbox, and yeah, it was a nice little foray, but it was like
traitor.
I cheated on PlayStation. Yes, I did with Xbox. But I had to play Gears of War.
You saw the light, and then you betrayed us.
I think I did. Well, Gears of War. I was all over it. Gears of War. Marcus Phoenix. Come on,
There's
that's
a new one coming out.
ledge.
Gears of War 4's out this next month.
You're killing me.
Yes, Gears of War 4's literally just been released.
What have I done?
Yeah, what have you done? You see? That's it. Look at the regret now, eh, Bev?
Sad face. Anyway, and this is going to make it even worse because my recommendation is, and it's probably not much of a recommendation because apparently there's 10 million of us already out there, but I've been absolutely obsessed with an FPS called Overwatch.
Oh, yes.
Oh man, I am totally obsessed with it. Every day, it's gotten to the point where I have to sit down and I have to level up every day at least once to make sure I'm getting my fix. Because there's just the plethora of characters, the different play styles, and you can always find something that works for you. Like I'm terrible when it comes to sort of direct shooting with like snipers and things, but there's a character called Junkrat who is basically. He's got grenades and bombs, and his ultimate move is he gets this what's effectively a tire with a bomb strapped to it, pulls a pull cord, and it just goes runs around the map and blows up and kills people. And it's just amazing.
See,
such a cool game.
I need to stay away from anything that has leveling up. I literally have an aversion to like anything that says to me that I need to level up and spend more than like a couple of hours on a game because it will ruin my life. I have to be very, very careful with games like that. Hence why I don't play very many games anymore, because if it's got some sort of RPG element in it, I'm literally zoned in and that's my life gone. And so I need to stay away from that shit completely.
So we know your weakness then.
Well, it is. It's like it's
to take you down.
Yeah. Just get me into something. Like I was obviously World of Warcraft, which I haven't played since like the third expansion or something that many years ago. And they've got a new one coming out. And my brother was like, "Oh, I was thinking about going back to World of Warcraft." I was like, "Don't you say that! Don't you say that! Never say that!" I was like, "Don't you do it?" Because the thing is, if he goes back, he'd be like, "Hey man, you want to complain?" I'd be like, No, all right. And it's just like at this moment in time, my computer needs sort of upgrading, so I'm kind of stalling on that, so I can't force myself into doing stuff. I have got too much going on at the minute, man. I can't deal with having an MMORPG in my life as well. I literally nearly lost a relationship because of one, so I need to stay away from that. It's like crack for Matt.
Yeah. I was about to say it's like Matt Crack.
It is Matt Crack. It is.
Yes.
It really
Matt
is.
Crack. That's the name of your second album.
That is.
Yeah, when you've made a bit of money, you're sort of think, what can I spend this on? You're jacking up every day.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I made it big. It's all about my sort of struggle. So I made it big, and I got it, and then I sort of used all that sort of kind of boy band money to sort of get Map Crack. And then what happened? I sort of like down and out for a while, and this is my comeback. So it's all about sort of struggling against the Map Crack and the pull back.
Yeah,
and
hollow-eyed and skinny and.
They wanted me to level up to number 85, but I said no. I'm not gonna level up.
Beautiful. Oh, there's a tear in my eye. I feel your pain.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and it'd be like a dark song called PvP, and it'd be like, it'd be about me fighting myself,
The man in the mirror.
Yeah.
PvP, me v me.
Me v. Oh, that brilliant!
Oh.
Look at it going. It could happen,
Written.
yeah. PvP, more like me be me.
Amazing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh dear. So if anyone does need to hear Matt's solo album, we'll make certain that we get one out for you. Get in contact with us. Go to Geek Pride on Facebook, search at Geek Pride 1 on Twitter. That we're on Instagram as well, aren't we, Matt?
We are now on Instagram, yes.
Yeah, so just search for Geek Pride and let us know if you do really need to hear more of Matt. We will be able to send someone who can help.
Hashtag MattCrack.
Hashtag Matt Crack. Unfortunately, you might get some random sort of, Matt Crack pictures, and not the same Matt Crack. There will be men called Matt with their cracks.
Matt's style, for people who don't know Matt's style is to have his underwear high and his jeans just a little bit lower. So because of that, you never actually see the proper Matt Crack, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because he's always got his underwear that bit too high.
Actually, I'm still doing my G look, so I'm still a 90s kid, so you got to have this sort of slightly baggy trousers. As much as my mother hates it, like really hates it. But because of that, because I'm a rebel, I don't play by the rules, that's why I do it,
Yeah, Mum.
Yeah.
You can't tell me to pull up my trousers.
No, Mum. I'm 35 years old. I can wear my trousers the way I want.
Dying.
So why are you still single, Matt?
Yeah. Have you've seen my house, Sean? You know why I'm single.
No, that house should be that should be like sugar to female geek wasps.
That's very true.
People should feel just the dense presence of just how much memorabilia and books, DVDs there is just in your front room, let alone anywhere else. It should be like a geek black hole that people just find themselves drifting towards when they have nothing better to do.
Do you know what the thing is? I had a party. Not my awesome sort of my awesome birthday party where Sean was sick 3 times and still managed to get a girl's phone number, by the way. So that's it. He was sick 3 times and still managed to get some digits. That's how smooth he is.
Now that's just how drunk she was.
Oh, poor Sean. But I had like a party, and it was like Mike Barton and stuff. He used to do some stuff for us. And they used to do podcast called Game Overcast. Him and some of his mates and stuff came round. They were going, "Oh man, love your house." And some of his mates were like, "I wish I could have a house like this, but I've got a girlfriend. I can't." It's like, wouldn't let me have it. And so it's like kind of living like a proxy life through me. Just sort of like, wow. So as long as I can help, it's alright. But I can't wait for my garage to get converted. It's going to be amazing. It's just going to have shelves and all kinds of cool stuff. It's just going to be everything that I own.
I love how shelves was the first thing. Not like you're going to have a big gaming table or that you have a massive TV. No, shelves. It's going to have shelves.
It's going to have priority, Sean. It's got to be about the collectibles first. There's the priority. And because I'm super sort of paranoid about somebody wanting to sort of kind of break in and steal my life's work, I've got a battering ram proof door getting put in with a digital keypad and a fob, so you can only get in that way.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
like moving into the future.
That's how hardcore I'm going with this man cave. I'm literally having what they call a rock door put on, and they're like heavy duty doors. Like,
fantastic.
For anybody out there thinking a bit sketchy thoughts, don't try it.
Yeah,
you need to like cut out Matt's eye or something to get.
Retinal scans, or maybe it's a picture of my crack.
Crack scan.
Crack scan. Oh, 1 minute, guys. Crack scan.
Brilliant.
Oh dear.
Okay, guys, my recommendation for y'all is San Diego Comic-Con. You need to get your asses there. And sometime in your life, it is literally amazeballs. Totes amazeballs.
Totes. Wow.
Totes amazeballs. My God. It's like an assault on every geeky sense you have. It's just like, it's hard to explain. It's like, there's big conventions over here, and I say comparatively, maybe MCM in London, it's slightly smaller as a convention space goes, because I think with San Diego Comic-Con, it's one big long line. The convention center's one long sort of line halls, whereas in MCM in London it's like 2 sets. So comparatively maybe slightly smaller, but San Diego, the whole experience is just immense. The one thing that got me was they embrace it more over there, whereas sort of like MCM or something like that, you know, you have to have tickets to get in, you have to have tickets to sort of get into the other area and stuff, whereas San Diego just becomes geek mecca, basically, and all the bars, they get sort of like renamed and stuff, and like the one we used to go into, shout out to Henry's Pub, when we used to go in all the time, they had like a big, obviously HBO being in because there was a big Game of Thrones theme going on. They were doing like Game of Thrones sort of giveaways and stuff. All the bar women and were dressed up like different, like Khaleesi and the Melisandre and stuff like that, and
the barmen might have been dressed up as well, but Matt doesn't remember.
yeah, no, to be honest, we made a comment to that. The guys didn't seem to dress up. The waitresses obviously dressed up, but the whole city just has taken on this whole sort of kind of, they just embrace it, and it's like you see, it just seems like everybody goes, every type of person goes, you know, and seems to enjoy it. It seems to be a bit more sort of kind of open and free to the whole sort of geeky experience or whatever it is, and it was so much fun. Like, just even, like, we spent the first 2 days not even in the convention center, I didn't even go in once. You know, we were just wandering around sort of outside because they have things in Petco Park and they have things by the, there's like a carnival thing. They have lots of stuff outside the hotels, in the hotels, you know, across the road, all kinds of stuff, like freebies thrown out all the time. I've got a wedge of stuff to give away for Geek Pride that I got from San Diego Comic Con and stuff. And then once you've done all that, you're like, wow, this is amazing. You go inside and you're just like, for me, it was the collectibles. Like the amount of collectibles and stuff in there, because of, you know, like all the hot toys and stuff like that was just mind blowing. It was like my wallet was starting to weep with the prospect of how much it was going to have to spend. If it weren't for the fact that I went up, it was like there's a Hot Toys, I say booth, but like a whole section with all these awesome Hot Toys, huge things. And, you know, he's not called TR-8R, you know, the Riot First Order Trooper. And I think he's called FN 38 something or something like that.
Yeah, Finn.
No, not FN. It's not Finn. You know the guy with the riot shield and the baton, the anti-force baton?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could get one of those, and it had like sort of kind of like lightning stuff coming out of the baton and stuff. And I went up to said, dude, I want that. And he's like, yeah, it's just for display. And I was like, what? He said, just for display? I was like, what? Couldn't grasp the idea. It's there though, but it's right there. And he said, yeah, you have to order them online. I was like, why would you do that to me? And then I was just like going about, I was doing these other things. I was like, okay, man, right, well, I'll have that now. And I was like, you're freaking killing me right now, man. I was going through. And that's why I ended up with that, the Hulkbuster, because I was getting so disheartened by the fact that every time I went up to somebody, I was like, can I buy that? They're like, sorry, display only. And I just went up the last time, just before I was leaving. It's like, man, see that Hulkbuster? Can I buy that? And he's like, yeah, man, it's just over here. And I was like, I'm going to buy that.
Why won't you take my money?
Yeah, take it. And I didn't even really barter. I tried to barter with them because it was a proper shop. So I was just sitting there because I bought some Justice League figures as well. Because the way I was figuring it out, it's effectively half price over there, you know, because you're paying like $300, which I think was there. But I would be paying like maybe 300 quid, 400 quid over here, maybe more. If I had to get it imported and things. And so I was like justifying it myself, saying, okay, I'm saving money by buying this. So I was like, all right, man, if I buy this and I buy this and I buy this, what deal can you do me? And he's like, nothing, man. And I was just like, well, what are you trying to say, man? I'm buying on this and this. He's like, yeah, I can't do it for you. And I was like, well played. I'll have them. And I was,
can I have a discount? No. Then I immediately concede.
Yeah, I'll buy them. I'm doing an article on this. If you ever get the chance to go, it's not overly expensive either. I think our flights to LA were about 500 quid. Our Airbnb, which we stayed in, which, you know, wasn't the best looking place in the world, but it was nice. It was only $7 in an Uber. And it was for 5 days, I think. It was only 160 quid or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was, so, you know, it wasn't even that expensive. There was a lot of us in the house and stuff because we were there with the Sneaky Zebra guys. Relatively, as long as you're not going in the hotels, which are expensive, you can do it quite cheaply and stuff. And obviously badges are going to be the hard thing to get because they're so in demand and stuff. But, you know, I would just recommend anybody who wants to go should just do it because it is an experience. I wish I could have stayed in San Diego a bit longer. Just the city in itself is really nice. But just for that whole experience was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So there you are. So we've each recommended a game that you could buy for probably less than £30. And Matt has recommended a £600 to £700 trip, not including spending £700-800 on figures, which Matt apparently did.
Man, I would have bought more. I honestly would have.
I can believe that.
If I had the space, I would have. There was this awesome Batman figure. He's at least 3 foot tall. You know,
Wow.
it was huge.
I'd like to finish with a story about Matt, which was about the last MCM.
Okay.
After the Saturday where we were finished, we decided to go into the huge Asda right by...
Oh, this Play Expo.
Not MCM, sorry, Play Expo, yes. We went to the huge Asda that was by there. I think we were just wanting to get a bit of food, get a bit of breakfast and so on. We went in there and Matt said, oh, you know what, let's just look upstairs. We'll just look upstairs because there's a small gaming area. We went there and there's the Disney Infinity. They had like the newest range with all the superheroes and so on. Matt's like, oh, I don't know if I should get it. You know what, I'm not gonna. Walked away. And as we were going away, he's like, oh, no, actually, no. I think I am going to go back.
No. I wasn't. This was it. There was a guy. I couldn't get the Xbox version.
That was it. God, yes, there was the guy, yes, because you couldn't find the Xbox version.
He created the situation, Sean. This would never have happened if it weren't for that guy.
He says, decided not to get it because they didn't have the Xbox version. And this guy just kind of pops up and is like, we do have it. It's back here somewhere. And then he's like, well, okay, I can get the Xbox version. It's got a couple of models with it. And then it's... started looking at the other ones that are available. All right, well, maybe I'll get Iron Man as well. And then maybe I'll get... No, I can't have just Iron Man. Now I've got to try and get the rest of the Avengers. And then there's some of the Disney guys. And he ended up coming out with about £300-400 worth of Disney Infinity figures that he just bought on the spur of the moment, alongside a sandwich and some cereal. And that was just in Asda. So going to San Diego Comic-Con, I can just imagine that you came back with a second suitcase.
I did come back with a second.
You actually did? Oh my god!
Yes, I did, Sean. Of course I did. I came back. I bought myself shoes over there, quite cheap. So you buy one, you get half price. So I bought a couple of pairs of shoes. But then I was like, yeah. So I got the PlayStation stuff I got for free, which was pretty big. And then obviously my Hulkbuster, then my Justice League things, then some other bits and bobs. So yeah, I had to have another suitcase because of stuff.
So there you are. 2 suitcases, Matt. I think I'm going to have to start calling you 2 suitcases at this point.
Well, here's a great idea. Obviously, if you want to pay for your trip, obviously, not maybe good for the tax man, but if you want to pay for your trip, you could go over there. You could buy a bunch of sort of toys and collectibles and things and then sell them over here for double the price. Unfortunately, I'm not that sort of guy because I could not do that.
Oh, so you could never sell something that you bought.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. It's like those lightsabers I bought, right? The lightsabers, the adaptable lightsabers, I bought them with the intention. It's like, I bought the Kickstarter because I was going to get some free ones and stuff, and I was like, right, the intention is I will buy these because I'm awesome like that, and what I'll do is I'll give some away for Geek Pride and stuff. Got them, I went, yeah, I'm not giving these away.
Hi.
I've got a voucher for $150. I've got a hilt and some other bits and bobs that I can give away. But I was like, right, I paid for these now. They're awesome. There's no way I'm giving them away. I need four lightsabers in my life.
You ever go like count? Was it Grievous?
Yeah, exactly.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly. I've got couplers and stuff, so I need them for stuff.
So it would be Grievous.
Yeah. Very good.
Right, and I think that we've got to go out on that because that is an absolute high. So, from the Geek Pride Podcast, I've been Sean Wallace.
I've been Matt Geary.
I've been Bevan Clatworthy.
Have a good one, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.